the clientele is grade A certified prime beef. Oh god. With the manly, meaty endowments to... Okay.
Oh my goodness, we have internet after over 2 days of not having any internet. I have a little bit of extra content on Patreon, movies and stuff, so make sure you join that. His dramatic... Also, I live stream on YouTube and Twitch, and those links are down below too. Today, I'm going to be watching ShoeOnHead, Female Gooners Must Be Stopped. I think I might have heard this video referenced already.
Oh, I didn't see you there. What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now. Thousands and thousands of women, in particular, have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets down kicking off monsters.
I'm sorry?
That's right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night, and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
If this book is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon. Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this, because it is so good.
I don't want
I regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners.
I'm reading what I read.
Why is it always things that aren't real? Oh, okay, I get it. Both sides have unrealistic standards. Ah.
Now, for those of you unaware, gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels, otherwise known as porn. Many correct about the dangers of porn addiction with men, how it can destroy their lives and their relationships, and most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode. But these bitches freaks out here. They display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by 9-foot-tall shirtless wendigos.
Get choked out by 9-foot-tall wendigos is not something I thought I would hear. You can go to a bar and get... I'm worried about asking any of these questions because I don't want it to sound like I'm interested. I'm just like, wait, that's possible? That's not like a, ooh, sign me, that's a wait. Maybe it's like a pop-up in that city, or like a friends get together and they arranged it or something. Maybe they had theme night. I don't know, maybe it was like a party. But if it's like a thing where it's a regular theme for ladies to go and have experiences like that, then I'm just trying to, oh, interesting. Okay.
I know what you are thinking. Shoo, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered it takes one to truly know one?
Oh, wait, did she just admit? Oh, wait, there's a lot of books in the back. Oh, okay. Yeah, books in the background. You know, I would assume I would peek in on the, what are those books? But I wouldn't really know any of the titles. I'm sure some of them would give it away. You know, like Milking Farm. Probably give it away.
You see, women are strange, fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides and the moon. We bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical creatures. But one of the most mysterious aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting moids, no, we are sophisticated, we are evolved. We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together, no, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different, okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it.
Was actually thinking that. I was like, okay, there's a little bit of an appreciation for, oh, at least it's like in literature you're reading about it, but I've never actually read anything like that before. So if it's just as descriptive as watching would be, I'm not going to point that out to justify one over the other. Also not here to ridicule one over the other, say one's worse, one's whatever. You know, I don't really want to have a criticizing, pointing fingers video. But I initially had, before saw the title, was thinking, oh, I guess there could be a little bit of appreciation though. Like, you know, reading isn't just glorified because you read anything like, oh, I am smarter than everybody else because I read a newspaper. You just save time and listen to it. It's really not that glorious. But if someone's spending hours and hours looking up videos on a certain site, and you're spending hours and hours reading that, isn't getting lost in something, not exactly escapism, but gooning, then at least similar and comparable?
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster. Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Oh my god! She's just like me! On the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm
No, let's hear it out.
Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef. Oh god, with the manly meaty endowments to okay.
Morning Glory Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this text, we see that the tingling sensation in her
Oh, is it? That's what the problem was. You don't get it because you didn't read the book. Like, you don't get it. It's about capitalistic. Hold on. Hear her out.
Morning Glory Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this text, we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
This is every fucking breadtube video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video. So I actually read the book myself, and I'm not gonna lie. The 19th Amendment needs to be abolished.
The whole thing? Yeah, I actually took one for the team. I read the book for the video. For the video. For reporting reasons only. I'm just teasing. No, I actually like that. You know, I've commented on movies that kind of think, I don't want to give too strong of an opinion because I didn't actually watch the movie. Just want to say that at the beginning of the video. Well, why don't you watch the movie? You're going to have an opinion on it. Funny thing is, I don't want to. Yeah, I can see from the scenes that I'm not interested. And I've watched 4 decently not good Marvel movie, show, whatever you would want to call it, Marvel media in a row, was disappointed. And so then I just stopped. I gave it 3 or 4 solid chances in a row before I was like, I'm done. I'm just not going to watch anymore. It's really not a big deal. But that's why from a distance I'll say, oh, does that look like another thing? Yep, it looks like the last thing that I watched. Maybe even worse, not really interested. But yes, anyways, it was just a tease. I find that funny. And maybe it's also quick. I feel like the lines are clearly pretty spread apart, not actually that thick. No, don't. We're not going to do that. Okay, so
Let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote. Let's see. Big dick and balls. I'm reading this and the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, he probably has like a human head, right? He probably like looks something like this, like, you know, just a dude with like horns. Then I see the official artwork. That's a cow. Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow.
This is why I can't show people. Oh my gosh, Zootopia, look at this super cute animal movie. Because you guys are ruining animals.
That's a cow. Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few parts they're being intimate and it will be like, his hooves clip-clopped. My hooves will tear up your sheets. And it's like, I'm sorry, his what? Now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with roleplay. You know, fiction is fiction, right? You know, you're not actually going to bang your stepsister, right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow. Or at least I hope not. We all know
for
there's
all
a
of
difference
them,
between
no.
fantasy and reality. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality? Well, you get Sinners and Stardust.
Wait, but now that's video game stuff. They're different.
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here?
Okay, if we're gonna start moving in on video games, look, it's not black and white. There's like a scale, and it gets a little bit more, you know, gray. And then there's little outliers that are random other, like, look, that's purple. You know, there's different things. They just happen to blending into communities like, I guess, video games. I saw some video games characters in there, where it's now making other people be like, oh, that entire genre, that entire groups of weirdos. And there's like some people there like, hey, we just think the game's cool. We're not making it sexual. We just like the movie. You know, there's separation in that. Yeah.
Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right? Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his dick? Hello? Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and, you know, that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an air tag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this guy until he passed out from anxiety, and then they put a f***ing tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel.
Oh my goodness, what? You have some women who are sometimes in the same groups who say, that's wrong, you can't do that. And then those are the same people who participate in this. I don't typically like divisive conversations, but if there's a lot of women out there who are trying to point out and plead, hey, there's a lot of violence from men towards women, and then there's a group of women out there doing this, it really just, this has to bring it back a little bit. Like, oh, okay, so consent's not a big deal when women are doing it to men, right? Because they probably want it. Like, what's the argument here? Oh, well, he's wearing a mask, just like the character in the book, so clearly he... No. Stop. No. Oh, wait, you can't say that because they don't know what that word means. Yeah, once seen Disney characters get harassed, and who was it? It was a man, Gaston. someone went up to take a picture with him, and she started just groping his chest. He's like, no. And he tells her to go away. He doesn't want to take a picture with her. And then she tries to do it again. Do you know how much backlash there would be for someone's father or uncle, creepy uncle, touching Jasmine? It actually did happen, and there was backlash, and that's part of the reason why she has to dress differently now at Disney World. But yes, it's not okay when either side does it. People might just try to point it out more when men do it because there's a scary dynamic of, oh, well, a man can overpower a woman. But you cannot negate consent just because it's a woman doing it to a man.
This poor guy dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago there was this thing called cosplay is not consent. Basically, it was a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent. Yeah,
even
we have to
children.
bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly, I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like, me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all. When the furries are—
No, Shoo! I was gonna say it first! When the furries have to come out and... It's okay, it's fine. No harm to furries. I'm sorry, we're just a little bit of teasing here. It's such a stigma. Again, it's the whole animal thing. I think whenever those lines are crossed in any way, people start making associations. And for me, who really likes cute little animal things, like not sexual in any way, sometimes people will blend that in with furry. It's like, no, I just like Bambi. Like, I just like the movies. Stop. So we just tease a little bit. Oh yeah, and I also can't help you for anybody who is like a brony. Don't know what that was, but that entire fandom, instead of being known as little girls, it's now known as grown men who likes My Little Pony. Nothing wrong with whatever you like, but when you start sexualizing the little ponies and little girls can't look up My Little Pony anymore, then bad. Shame on you. But
when the furries are calling you out for being freaks, you need to reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong. Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, my words did nothing. May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay? For books. Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains, because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for Evie magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest.
oh my goodness. So you're telling me these men will start needing their stepsister?
Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful? In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed. I'm not equating monster smut with these things, but there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful. Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence is not healthy. Basically, they're cooked. Like, women are cooked. Just say no. Just say no to monster porn. But why is
We're gonna start putting that on t-shirts? Say no to monster smut. I think men would buy it.
why is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see the opposite, and when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs, or like a 10-foot tall dommy mommy vampire with giant titties. Meanwhile, women are like, I want to f the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So people on Reddit asked this very question.
Fern Gully? Have people really said that about him? Oh my gosh. He's pollution. Don't you grow up understanding he's the enemy? You want to do what to him? Bad. Spray bottle. Shame on you.
So people on Reddit asked this very question. Let's see the responses. Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons. 1, human men are quite often terrible. Romance books with human men are already partly fantasy, but monsters just takes the fantasy bit further. 2, it's sort of human nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures. We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries. It's just gotten a lot more graphic now, lol. 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of dicks. Scary, mean, terrifying creature is sweet to her, kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc.
Someone changing their human nature just for you is something that would probably make you feel really special. That would be interpreted as, oh, I'm special, I'm the one, he's sweet to me, nobody sees this side of him. And he's very protective, or I could really depend on him because clearly when in battle, he's killed before, or something like that. So it just has a lot of bases covered for, I guess, that alpha, but he's sweet to me character archetype. I think it's taking it a step further to say literal monsters, and then talking about the different types of body parts. That's taking it over there. But the original base for it is understandable of, oh, okay, someone who's kind of, I wouldn't say mean to everybody, but like an outcast, like an outlaw. They do that even in movies, like in Hollywood, like that scary, rugged guy who's misunderstood, cowboy type guy. You'll see that he picks like a gentle little flower just for her to make her feel special. He helps her on the horse. Shoots another man off, has blood on his hands, but he helps her on the horse like a princess.
Maximal escapism, minimal association to real-life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny, and oppression of women, etc., etc. Because the monsters are less dangerous than dating actual men. As a fat woman of color, modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic, and romance in real life is not always attainable for fat women / women of color. In monster alien romance, though, my size doesn't matter, and it's easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it. I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety. Non-humans haven't betrayed and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven, if that makes sense. Plus the unusual dick. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks. I love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly.
Okay, I actually kind of want to, I hear the person out who was speaking about the woman of color being heavy. That seemed like a valid argument. It's just a little bit harder to get into something that's more realistic because anything that's really been presented in the media realistically and gets a lot of attention, especially movies and shows and even really popular books, it's usually like a smaller, younger, this type of girl character. And I just can't put myself in that position and really enjoy it as much, because it's so blatantly obvious that if somebody's going to do these things for her, it's because of how she looks, and I don't look like that. That's actually kind of like, oh, just let people enjoy their books then. But again, whenever it bleeds into the not asking for consent and touching other people at some type of convention, if anything, you're rooting for the people who just want to quietly mind their business and read these books and enjoy it in private. You know, you're making all of them look like little delinquent, degenerates, whatever you want to call them.
Especially monster smut, is about submission, domination, forced breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and overpowered by these monsters. And I think many of these women are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But the truth is, many women still crave it. You see, the monsters in these stories have those like dominant masculine traits that women like so much, but they're not human men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring, without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the perfect guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man, they want to tame a wild dominant man. Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you can save her from her daddy issues.
That's crazy. An art what? Oh, is that like a new tool, like a paintbrush? And yeah, with a nose ring. You can save her from her issues. Oh my. Yeah, okay. Yes, the taming thing. I can change him. Ah! Just people out here living in their delusions.
Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you can save her from her daddy issues.
Oh,
you
that's
can
funny.
do it.
She
It definitely won't backfire and ruin your life. Go for it. Go talk to her. With many women, there's this desire for, like, danger and aggression, but also the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman who can melt his heart. You see, my dragon boyfriend could rip me to shreds and kill me instantly, but he won't because he's nice and he loves me. But honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you wanna rape a disabled girl? When in reality, it was just a distilled manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to protect and provide for a sweet woman and save her. This is like basically the flip of that, right?
Okay, yeah, she said it much better than I did, but was kind of trying to think that, like, don't want to necessarily shame anybody for what they're into, but if we're talking about this to point out that anyone said, oh, well, this is different from that, no, they're just kind of on the flip side. I think getting lost in anything that's going to start training your brain for looking for something visually, like, because there are unfortunately a lot of men who are addicted to that, and then it does start setting unrealistic expectations. No one looks like that. A lot of those people probably can't perform those things. And why is everything stepmom or stepsister? Why? What are you doing? But then also on this side to say, oh, well, this is really different. Me reading 15 hours a day, this scene. It's like, you both are technically lost in something. I liked that she pointed out the wheelchair thing because, oh yeah, that would be an example, is you shouldn't villainize men for fantasizing of a woman in a position where they would feel needed because men want to feel needed. And then on the other side, maybe don't villainize or shame women for wanting to be in a position where she can depend on a man, where the man just steps in and does things for her without asking. Because both of those can be taken advantage of. A woman who needs to be needed, well, now she's just using you. You take care of her, you help her, but then she isn't that loyal to you, she just used you for money. And then that side of this is women are afraid of real life association stories of a man telling you what to do and kind of just taking charge, but leading your life in a direction where you don't want it to go, and then controlling you in ways that you actually didn't want to be controlled. There's toxicity to both sides. But yeah, can't villainize men for like, oh, wheelchair girl is so cute, because then you can help her and you can make her dreams come true by picking her up and taking her to the beach. It's all cute and romantic. Plus a woman wrote it. But I guess same way you can't fully say something milking farm. Okay, look, that's a bit different. We're not going to compare those two exactly, but just comparing the things that both sides typically look for. Problem solvers would like to be needed, a bit more submissive, looks for someone to lead.
This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy. Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur? When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in that video, they're basically both the same fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon and the knight sits in the corner and watches or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that there could be some comparisons of, oh, what women look for and what men look for, but if you're going to use the very specific media of that book and that show, I would say they're different. The show, more lighthearted, pretty simple, kind of cutesy, That compare a little bit more to, well, I mean, it is a story, so it can't really be compared to like the sites, the spicy sites. But yeah, interesting. The most I've learned about smut happened right now, and I'm okay with that amount of knowledge. I'm good. But yep, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out ShoeOnHead's channel, because that's who created the video. Obviously, you probably already know who she is, but make sure you check out her channel. And also like and subscribe to mine. Check out all my links, and I'll see you all next time.